I'm Melissa and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a beautiful day so far. This video is going to be all about pregnancy, and I am officially now in my third trimester of pregnancy. The other day on Instagram, I asked you if you had any video requests for me or questions that you'd like me to answer, and overwhelmingly people said that they wanted to hear about my pregnancy experience and, if I had any symptoms or, just how things have been going for me. And since this is my very first experience with all of this, I thought I would share some of the expectations that I had about pregnancy and then the reality of how things have actually been going. And something that I've been really realizing when it comes to conceiving a child, pregnancy, and birth as well, is that everybody's experience is so very different. And so this is just me sharing my experience. Hopefully nothing that I share is TMI or going to scare you at all. It's not meant to. And so just keep that in mind, that this is just my experience. Yours may be completely different, and that's normal. Okay, so the first thing that I expected was nausea and vomiting, because I hear about that so much. And then even just since I was a kid, when I was watching TV and movies, whenever they'd show a pregnant woman, she'd be throwing up or feeling sick and nauseous. And so I just kind of expected that that was a thing that you experienced at some point throughout your pregnancy. And I have had virtually none of either of those, with a couple exceptions, which are super minor. So basically early on, about 8 to 10 weeks in the first trimester, I had maybe a handful of times where for like 10 to 15 seconds, I felt a little bit queasy, and then it went away instantly and nothing happened. And then after the first trimester, which is supposedly the time when you experience the most nausea, I think I was just entering in my second trimester, and there was one morning where I woke up and I was hungry, and before I ate something, I actually made a decaf Earl Grey tea, and I drank a few sips of that, and I don't know why, but I threw up the tea. And sorry if that is TMI, but it was just weird. I'm not sure if that was pregnancy related. It must have been. But I didn't actually throw up any food. I had an empty stomach, and it's something about the tea. It just boom, wanted to come out, but that was it. So other than that, it's been really good as far as digestion and not feeling nauseous or having any vomiting or anything like that. So I just feel very blessed that has been my experience. And so I think, again, it just varies. I've heard of people who have really extreme nausea in the first trimester and then it goes away. And I also have friends who have had nausea and feeling, just having a really hard time keeping food down throughout the entire pregnancy. So it can really, really vary depending on the person and also depending on the pregnancy. Next, a lot of people have asked me if I've had weird food cravings. This is something else that I've seen on TV and in movies, where the pregnant woman will get up in the middle of the night and make her husband go get her ice cream and pickles and hot sauce and, mix really weird foods together because of intense cravings. And that has not been my experience at all. There's nothing that I've ever, at least thus far, there's nothing that I've felt like, oh my gosh, I normally hate that food, but I'm really wanting it right now, or I'm wanting to mix, kind of weird food combinations together. That hasn't happened yet. I don't think it will, because I've only got a couple months left, but you never know. And I've also haven't had any strong food aversions. I've heard of people saying that they normally like certain things, and then when they're pregnant, they can't even stand the smell of it or the sight of it, and they definitely don't want to eat it. And so I haven't had any changes when it comes to my appetite and my food preferences. All right, another expectation that I had was that I would just have to eat more food, because I knew that, obviously I'm growing a baby and I would just have an increased appetite, but I'd be able to eat the same way, just an increased amount. But I normally eat 3 large meals a day. And I like to get really, really full. If you watch my What I Eat in a Day videos, you'll know I like to have big portions of food. And I'm not someone who's eating tiny amounts throughout the day. Because I've got a large belly right now, it just doesn't feel like that much food can comfortably fit. So I'm having to eat smaller quantities, and I'll still fill up my plate a lot, and then I'll just eat like as much as I can, and then I have to just wait an hour or so and then eat more. And so that's taken a bit of adjustment for me. There's been a few times where because I still have the same hunger, so there's been a few times where I'm eating, a lot, and then afterward I'm just so full and it's uncomfortable, so I have to just pace myself out a little bit more. And this also means that I need to start eating something right away in the day. I normally just grab a banana or some sort of fruit as soon as I wake up, whereas before I wasn't a morning person. I could go 3-4 hours without eating after I wake up, but no, now I've got to eat something, even just something small, and then just start pacing that food intake throughout the day. So that's just been a little bit of an adjustment. And these are things that I never really thought about before pregnancy. And something that's really fascinating, and maybe I'll get a diagram and put it up on the screen, is that a pregnant woman, once the baby grows, a pregnant woman's organs, like her stomach and intestines, all squish upward to make room for the baby, which makes sense, but it's just never something that I really thought about. And it's fascinating. You understand why your stomach is getting so easily full, and you have to eat smaller amounts because everything is literally squished up to make room for the baby. Another expectation that I had, that I heard a lot about, was that pregnant women experience a lot of heartburn. And that's something that I haven't experienced. Again, I've still got 2 more months left, so maybe that's something that will come up. I hope not. But thus far, I've been okay, and I haven't experienced any extreme heartburn. And so I'm happy about that. Okay, another expectation that I had was that when you were pregnant, you needed to go out and get a maternity wardrobe. And I have been wearing regular clothes, just looser fitting. Obviously, they're not like things that go in tight at the waist, but I've just been wearing looser fitting clothes that are non-maternity clothes up until 6 months. And so at the 6-month point, I got a 2-pack of maternity leggings, one of which I'm wearing now. And I like it because it has the support, and I love to walk a lot, so when I'm walking it just feels nice and supportive, which I do really like. But this top, for example, is just like a size small regular top, and it's just got a very loose, flowy middle section, so it's nice and comfortable. But I haven't gone out and bought an entire maternity wardrobe, and I don't plan on getting many more items, if any. Hopefully what I have is good enough to last me, even though I know I am going to be getting bigger. I just don't want to go out there and buy a bunch of clothes that, just for the next couple of months. I think I'll be able to make it without that. But I think I thought I would have to, and I think I thought that was like a thing that you had to do. Something that I've gone without is getting maternity jeans, which I could have, but I've just been kind of using that trick, which apparently a lot of my friends knew, but I didn't know, was where if your jeans don't zip up anymore, you take an elastic and you put it through the buttonhole and then tie it around the button itself, and it just kind of makes your jeans work even though they're not zipping up all the way, and then you cover it with a longer shirt. So I've just been doing that on the few occasions where I want to wear jeans, but mostly I've just been sticking with loose, flowy, stretchy, comfy clothes. And again, you might be excited to go out there and buy a maternity wardrobe and have maternity dresses and all of that stuff, but I've got quite a few items that are looser and flowier, and I've just been wearing those, and that's been what works for me. Okay, so now I'm going to share some things that I didn't expect or even know about prior to pregnancy, and some of these are not so fun. So one of them, which is probably the most challenging for me, is that I didn't know pregnant women couldn't sleep on their back, or it's not recommended to sleep on your back. You have to sleep on your sides, and I have always, for my entire life, slept either on my stomach or on my back. And at the beginning of the pregnancy, it was fine, but it's recommended as your belly grows to sleep either on your left or your right side for optimal blood flow to the baby. And it does make sense that when your belly is bigger, if you're lying on your back, that pressure is pushing down on all of your organs, and it's just not optimal. So this was really, really challenging for me at the beginning. So I tried to train myself to do this from the first trimester, and I'd go to bed on my side, and then I'd wake up on my back, and I'm thinking, no, how am I going to make myself stick with this? And so then I'd, use pillows in the front and the back and try to prop myself in position. And it took a couple of months until I kind of got used to it. But now, but honestly, sleeping on my sides is so painful on my shoulder and my hip joints. I can't explain how uncomfortable it is for me, and it just feels so unnatural to sleep on my sides. I'm really, really looking forward to being able to sleep on my stomach and my back again. Okay, my doctor actually told me that my hips are quite large for my frame, and maybe that's why they hurt a lot, because the hip protrudes out and I'm sleeping right on that joint. And when I wake up, all the joints, just this and this, they hurt so much. And it goes away after like 10, 15 minutes of me waking up, but it's just something that I've never experienced before. And I think it's just my body weight on my shoulder and my hips. Ow. Okay, another one is that you have to pee all the time. At least I do. I already felt like I was someone who had to pee quite frequently because maybe I have a small bladder, I'm not sure. But being pregnant, I literally have to pee all the time. And I guess it's just the pressure of the baby squishing on my bladder. I get up, I think 4 times a night at least. I'm lucky that I'm able to get to sleep right away. I've always been someone who can get to sleep very easily. But I guess this is going to be good practice for me getting up, having to feed the baby when she's born. But yeah, I'm getting up like 4, sometimes 5 times a night to go pee, and not so fun. So the sleeping aspect hasn't been fantastic or very comfortable, but it is what it is. It's all part of it. And yeah. Okay, another thing that I didn't expect, this is something that I experienced in the first trimester. I was so tired, and I didn't tell anyone that I was pregnant until after 10 to 12 weeks. So at the beginning, like my mom was asking me like, what's wrong with you? Why are you taking so many naps? And I just felt like I could not stay awake. If I could take 5 naps a day, I would have. And apparently this is quite common. Obviously, your body is putting so much of its energy into building another human, and that takes a lot of your energy that you need throughout your day. So if you feel like you have to sleep and you can sleep, just take the nap, and that's my recommendation. I never expected I would be that exhausted and that it would be that, draining on your energy. But that really went away. And in the second trimester, I felt like I had all my energy back and kind of felt the same as I did before I was pregnant. Okay, another not so fun, comfortable thing that I've noticed recently now that I am bigger is that sitting for more than an hour is so uncomfortable. Like I can't sit through a 2-hour movie on the couch without having to go bring my big medicine ball, yoga ball thing into the living room, and I'm like rolling around on it and just doing different positions and trying to get myself comfortable, or even just sitting on the floor and kind of just like moving a little bit and just trying to like move my spine, because just sitting feels so uncomfortable. And I guess it's just all the weight pushing on the lower part of my back. It just doesn't feel comfortable. The good side is that walking, which I love, and if you guys have been watching me for a while, you'll know that walking is literally probably the best part of my day. I love to walk, and walking feels the best on my body. Like it just feels so comfortable to move my hips and to walk that I still do my 10,000 steps a day, if not more. And I just go at like a good pace, and it just feels so nice on my body. And so I'm happy that that hasn't been taken away from me and that I can still enjoy my walks, because I just love them, and I love to get the fresh air and listen to podcasts and inspirational and motivational webinars and audiobooks, and yeah, love it, love it, love it. Something that I've heard about for years that has been very true in my experience is the nesting feeling. I'm not sure if you've heard of that before, but it's basically where when you're pregnant, you have this real urgency and this feeling of wanting to make sure everything is prepared, like you're a mama birdie preparing her nest for when, the eggs are laid. And so that's how I've been feeling. Just like I want to get everything prepared, just mentally preparing myself for things. And I'm, constantly going through different scenarios of like, how will I handle this when the baby's born? Like, how am I gonna, have time to prepare meals and still keep my house clean and still get things done and still do my coaching calls and all of these other things that are just running through my mind, and making sure that, I'm as prepared as possible, because I just want to give her the best start in life as possible. And I tend to put a lot of pressure on myself with things. So I'm just trying to keep myself calm and like remind myself that I don't have to do everything at once, that, it's just day by day, and that I'll have what it takes to handle each scenario as they arise. But that's definitely something that has been, running through my mind, is just getting everything ready, and I just want to be the best mom that I can be for her. And yeah, but I guess those are all normal feelings that come up when you're a new parent. In a minute, I'm going to answer a couple questions that you have asked me on Instagram about my pregnancy, but I want to hear from you. If you've gone through pregnancy, what was your experience like? Was there anything that you really expected to experience but did not happen for you at all? Or was there something that was a big shock that you didn't expect, but it was really true for you? And again, I think everyone's experience is just so different. So I just want to say, if you're thinking about having a child one day and you're hearing other people's experiences and you're letting it freak you out, just try to remain calm and know that everyone's experience is totally different, and you're going to handle it the best you can when that time comes. All right, one of the questions I got was people asking me what prenatal vitamins I take, and I started taking these before I was even pregnant, so a couple months before. It's called Deva, the brand is DEVA, Vegan Multivitamin and Mineral Prenatal 1 Daily, and there's 90 coated tablets in here. I bought these on VitaCost, I believe, and this is my 3rd bottle now. Okay, and someone asked me about preconception tips. So tips on what to do before you're getting pregnant. And again, I'm not a doctor, so please go see your doctor before listening to my advice. This is just sharing what worked for me and what I did. So my doctor recommended to take B6. She just said that vitamin B6 really helps everything when it comes to conception. And so I started taking these. This brand is from Sprouts, and they are vegan capsules, but it's just vitamin B6. There's 100 milligrams or 500 milligrams. So maybe just ask your doctor if this is something that is recommended by them. And I was taking these for 2 months, and we got pregnant in the 2nd month of trying. So that's just our experience. And something else I would just say is to remain calm and don't put too much pressure on yourself. I know that's easy to say, but everyone's different. Just love your body through this process. Sometimes it can be helpful to look at other people's experiences and see what things have been like for them, but sometimes you can just compare yourself to what someone else went through, or expect that your journey is going to be the same as theirs. And if that makes you feel bad, then just don't pay attention to that. Focus on your own body, your own experience, and just trust that things will work out for the best, and try to stay as relaxed and positive as possible. Another question that I got asked was how to get enough protein without over-consuming fats. And again, I follow a whole food plant-based diet. So something that I do every single day is I eat at least 2 servings of beans. I've always loved beans. I eat them a lot anyways, but just during pregnancy, I make sure to have a lot of beans. I also eat tofu, and I'll have unsweetened soy milk and plant milks. A lot of them are actually fortified with calcium as well, which is also important during pregnancy. So my favorites, which I'm always eating on rotation, are black beans, kidney beans, and chickpeas. So these cans are all from Walmart for, less than I think 60 cents each. So I stock up on these. I will just rinse them out, blend them up with some spices, and I can have a dip, and I do my no oil fries, and I'll eat an entire can as a dip, and you can add some dark leafy greens to that as well. I put some lemon juice. Sometimes I'll do liquid smoke or sriracha. And I also make a lot of soups. So this is I think it's a 12 or 13 bean mix, dried. So I recently got an Instant Pot a couple months ago anyways. And I've started to make lots of soups in the Instant Pot, and it's just so easy, very filling. And then also I really like lentils as well. So I'll use lentils in a pasta sauce. So if I'm making pasta, I will I actually like the red lentils for that, but it kind of makes it like a fake meat sauce type of thing. It just adds some texture to it, and it's really healthy and full of protein. And so something that I would say, if you're trying to consume extra protein without getting a lot of fat, I would say just steer clear of the nut butters. And you might be thinking, well, nuts and seeds are a great source of, healthy fat and protein. So do I have to like avoid them altogether? Absolutely not. But something that I would recommend to do is, instead of getting like a big Costco tub of salted cashews, which can just easily be overconsumed, and you can eat those kind of mindlessly and not realize, oh my gosh, I've been, eating so many of these because they're so tasty. Something you can do is have things like chia seeds. Like for me anyways, chia seeds don't have a taste. They're not something that I'm gonna overindulge in. They're not something that I'm like, oh my gosh, chia seeds, I just wanna eat more and more of them. There's something that you can add a little bit to, your smoothie, to your salad, to anything really. They're virtually tasteless, but they are full of fiber and healthy protein. Same thing goes with flax seeds. Flax seeds don't particularly taste like anything. And so when I make my videos on weight loss, I recommend not adding these things if weight loss is your goal. But if we're talking about pregnancy and making sure that you're getting enough healthy fats and proteins, then there's nothing wrong with having some flax seeds or chia seeds and adding in the protein that way. All right, I hope this video was helpful and that you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye-bye.